Welcome to Confessions of a Terrible Leader, where real leaders share the raw truth about the lessons they learned the hard way so you don't have to. Join our host, Lacey Nelson, founder of Transcend Leadership Collective and former terrible leader. On this podcast, we invite you to step into the confessional and get real with the messy stories and behind-the-scenes reality of leadership. Let's get to it.
Hello, listeners, and welcome back to Confessions of a Terrible Leader. I'm your host and former terrible leader, Lacey Nelson. So glad to have you with us today, audience, because we have an interesting conversation ahead of us. Jeanne Omlor, did I say that correctly?
It's not bad, Jeanne Omlor. That was close enough.
Okay. Welcome to the show. We're so glad to have you. Jeanne is a business coach for coaches and consultants, and she has a split focus. Her other focus for coaching is high-end CEOs and icons, which I can't wait to dig into. Welcome. Thank you for being with us today.
Thanks so much for having me.
All right. So many questions. I want to know, what is an icon?
An icon is somebody that might be either a minor celebrity, or it's somebody that's known in the business world. They're an icon of business or something like that. There's somebody that's known in some niche by some people.
They have influence.
Right. Yes. It might not be that everybody knows who they are.
But in their sphere, they're influential in what they do.
Yes.
How did you get into this line of work? I think coaching really blew up in probably 2019, 2020.
Yes.
I feel like it really started to get big. What was your pathway to being in the position where you can help guide, grow, expand the capacity for the high-end CEOs and icons?
The main part of my business is for coaches and consultants. I'm kind of known for that.
Okay.
I'm known as the organic queen. So I have a multi-million-dollar company for coaches and consultants. The high-end piece is a smaller part and it's by appointment only. That is not the major part of my business. I'm just very transparent about all my activities with the coaching. But the main thing I'm known for is helping coaches and consultants to get clients online with no ads. And you're correct. My business blew up before COVID. And then I was positioned about 6 months before COVID really well, because everybody needed to know how to get clients online without being out there networking anymore. So my trajectory was, I was already a coach for 8 years offline. I was a business coach, strategist. I also was an executive leadership coach with servant leadership. So I coached teams, I coached CEOs, law firms, plastic surgeons, all sorts of businesses, consultants, coaches, you name it. I coached them because it was just really about, here's a business person. How do I help them grow their business and take care of a bunch of other stuff? At that point, after 8 years, I'd been through a lot of stuff. Now I was in deep debt. My personal life took me away from my business and got me in debt. I woke up one morning 5.5 years ago and I thought, I need to fix this. I'm 54 years old. I've got 2 kids and I need to fix this because I need my daughters to not see me just be a failure. So I got up and I thought, okay, this offline thing is not working. It's broken. It's never going to work. I did okay, but no, I really need to get to my goals. I've got to get online and I got to figure out how to get clients online from home. And I got online and I found some program that was the first program I could find. It was $10K. I thought, okay, that's good because at least everybody else in the program is investing at least $10K. So it might be a bit more serious. I don't search for cheap things. I search for quality. The program wasn't great, but the people were great and they helped me with just encouraging me. And that's actually what helped me, was not the program. And they were supposed to be teaching me ads. I went in thinking, I'm going to learn ads. And I realized right away, ads are not going to work. I need a huge budget for these. And this is just a crapshoot. And all that tech and funnels, that's not my thing. It's going to take forever. I thought, I need clients now. I said, ads aren't going to work for me. And they said, no, we agree. I said, okay. So I just paid you $10K to teach me ads. What do? They said, you need to do organic. And I said, organic like carrots? I'd never heard of organic marketing before. That's how naive I was about online marketing. They said, no, Jeanne, not organic carrots. I said, well, what is it? They said, just go talk to people. And I thought, okay, I need to really figure this out. And I need to talk to people better than anybody else on this earth because I got to turn this around because I'm now even 10 more K deep in debt. I figured out how to get clients with no ads very simply online, talking to people, just relationship marketing. And I started getting clients and they're like, how do you do this? There was just a flood of clients, flood. And I thought, whoa, I really hit something here. I was just on such a wave. Then COVID started and I had panicked for about 3 seconds. I thought, oh my gosh, I just finally learned how to make some money with my coaching and help people. I thought, oh no, wait a minute. They need me more. So COVID didn't hurt me. I was already good. I think it probably would have been the same. We've coached over 500 people. I've made millions of dollars. We've collectively made millions and millions and millions for our clients. And the rest is history. And then from there, I've done so many different types of coaching. I'm in a lot of high-end groups. And I thought, oh, wow, these people at top really need help. And actually, one of my mentors, she charges $1 million a client. She was like, well, you don't need to charge $1 million, but there is a market for that. Not a huge market. And I don't take too many of those clients anyway.
Do you find having your toes in the water enough that it keeps you sharp for the organic?
It does. And it's a different activity. And also I get to travel with it. Like I was in Dubai meeting with investment bank CEOs that need help. It's good because it gets me out of the house because I don't like networking, but I will travel, here and there to meet with people and then do a little bit of travel with pleasure. And at least I got out of the house, and I do go to high-end events, but I don't go out to network with people. I go out just to meet people. Again, I don't need a lot of those. I can't do a lot of those, but it's good when you're helping people at that level because there's a trickle down effect and they're treating people better, underneath, and you're impacting a lot of people.
Yeah, absolutely.
But as I said, the major part of our business is that we are so good at helping coaches and consultants and certain online providers, like some digital marketers come in because they just really want to know, how do I get clients with no ads, no funnels, no tech, just talking to people, high ticket. It's a miracle. And it works.
Yeah. How have you seen it shift since you started? Are your methodologies, have they stayed true and you're getting the same results, or have you had to adjust? I find sometimes consumers can be longer buying cycle. Maybe it takes more work to build trust. What have you seen?
I've just seen that people want to do a year with us instead of just 12 weeks. We've built up. We sell more years than the 12 weeks now because people, I feel, some people want the quick 12 weeks. Just get in there, teach them how to get clients online, fishing rod.
In and out. Yep.
Right. But what people really mainly want is they want to build a very high income, sustainable business and smart people, because we do attract a lot of smart people that are high achievers, like more and more. They know that in 12 weeks, they're not going to build a sustainable business bringing 100K per month in. We get a lot of people that have big missions and they know that to build a sustainable business where you're bringing in 50, 60, 70, 80K per month is going to take more than 12 weeks. There's a lot to learn.
Right.
What's happened is they want me to show them what I did. If you want to be successful, find somebody that's done exactly what you've done and hire them. That's just the rule. So what's changed is they want longer time. They're more serious. I think that we are getting more serious clients because we know our target market and we know who not to waste time getting on a call with now. We've always sold heart-based. I don't believe in the old way of sales. So what changed is people are appreciating that more and more. And the world is smarter. You can't say, hey, buddy, you want to buy some coaching? You can't be tricking people. And we never did that anyway. But I think a lot of those bad coaches, and I will say it, the coaches that sell in a bad way.
Yes.
People are seeing through those people. I'm still here.
Yep.
And I'm not dissing other people, but there are people in every business and every niche that are hard salespeople. They promise the world, they don't deliver. That's everywhere.
Right.
And they're dropping like flies now.
Yes. Yes, absolutely. I think the consumer has gotten savvier and better at filtering out who's walking their talk, who can deliver.
Right.
When you are approaching your customers, is it primarily B2C or do you use a more B2B approach? Or in your world, is there any difference?
It's B2B because we're business coaches coaching businesses.
And are they primarily solopreneur owners or are they running larger organizations with multiple employees? What is your profile?
It is mainly solopreneurs.
Okay.
Some have help, some don't. Most of them don't have help. They are actual solopreneurs. Then we help them get a bit of help later on.
Yeah. Get that scaffolding.
A lot of people who come in, they have never coached before. They're just like, I heard you do this and I want to be a coach. And I love that when somebody comes in and says, I just want to be a coach. And I'll say, sure, we'll help you get that going. And you're going to go straight to high ticket. I love helping people jump the line. I'm not a gatekeeper.
That's wonderful. What is your advice for a new person that is hungry? They've got all the ambition in the world, but limited resources and very limited experience. Where do you even start?
When people say they have limited resources, let's just break that down. Everyone has limited resources. All of us have limited resources unless we're just like, have unlimited resources.
Right.
That's the first mindset problem. If you're coming at it from, I can't afford this, we're done. You're never going to be successful. I never in my life approached anything that way. When I had no money, literally no money, this is 14 years ago. I was in New York City, newly single with 2 kids. Single is not a good word, solo, because I wasn't like single on the market looking to date somebody. So solo. Got certified at night with life coaching because I was taking care of my kids. I started as a life coach. And then I met with my friend. She went, oh, really? Who's your business coach? And I said, what? She said, well, who's your business coach? And I said, what do you mean? She said, well, Do you think people are going to flock to your door? She goes, you got to learn the business now or you won't be successful. And she goes, I could do that for you because I'm a life and business coach. I said, no, who's your coach? She went, she goes, you're not dumb. She referred me to the business coach. I was ready to pay her when I got on that call. There was no sales call. Here's my money. She couldn't believe it. She said, wow, this wasn't even a sales call. You were ready. I said, yes, I don't have time. I've got to make this work. I have 2 kids. I've got to get clients. I can't waste a minute. 8 or 9K on credit. You don't and and tire kick. You need help. You don't waste time. I didn't want to waste years. But I could have gotten a better coach, I'll be honest. She was not bad, but I wish I'd met somebody like me because she was a little bit of a gatekeeper, a little bit, oh, you got to pay your dues kind of person. Really? Oh, yeah, you can't just do that right away. Well, yeah, I could have. So I'm like iconoclast. Just get rid of all that. Yes, you can go from no certification and you can get high ticket right now because I said so. Really? Yeah. And guess what? Speaking life into people works.
Yes.
You have the resources you want to stretch if you want to really succeed. Boom. Fast forward 8 years, again in deep debt from being destroyed. I didn't go bankrupt, but I was in deep debt. Again, I said, well, I got to make this happen. 3 different credit cards, deeper debt, got to make it happen. I didn't go, oh no, I have no money. I thought, wow, I got to make this happen because I have no time. That's a successful person because every single person we speak to can afford us. Some of them say they can't, but they can if they have a credit card.
When someone's looking for a good coach, what are the red flags of this isn't probably going to be the best experience?
The red flag is we're going to help you do this, but they've never done it themselves. Big red flag. So if I say, oh, you know what? I'm going to help you get to 100 million, Lacey. Well, I'm not at 100 million. So I would question, how is Jeanne, who's not yet at 100 million? I would never promise that. But if I said, oh, sure, we're going to get you there, I would question, well, have you done that for yourself? No. Okay. Red flag.
Yeah.
Other things are if they're counting everything for us, we just want it to work. Unlimited coaching, literally unlimited. People are like, wait, you're going to get on a call with me as much as I want. No, as much as you need, because some people want to call every single day and we're not going to do that.
Right.
You don't need one every day, but there's no counting. And they are looking at me in disbelief that the $1 million coach is going to be accessible. So if they're not accessible, don't coach with them because they've got probs. Okay. Because I made $1 million doesn't change who I am. I'm not like the best person in the whole world and I shouldn't be putting on airs. Okay. So we never said, oh no, you can't talk with Jeanne because now she's made $1 million. To me, it's off that all of a sudden I'm so important. I can't talk to my clients. So if they say, yeah, we're going to help you divorce yourselves from the clients or you're going to keep your clients at arm's length. We're going to teach you that, run a mile because they're going to do that to you. And just sloppiness and over promising. And also we can't guarantee. You're not allowed to. If they guarantee, run a mile. It's not Federal Trade Commission compliant. If they don't know that they're not being compliant, do you have a problem on your hands? They should know that. It's really hard to be compliant now because it's draconian. But I do know we're not allowed to guarantee. So what we do is we build terms of services into our contracts that if they have not reached something, then we got to keep coaching them, but it's not a guarantee.
Right. Terms of service is definitely the way to go. So everyone needs to read your contracts.
Also, run a mile if they make income claims.
Yes.
We're not allowed to say, oh, sure, we're going to get you to 30, 40K months for sure. I can't say that because I don't know. I can say, hey, this is what we do. I can tell them about a client that we did get to 91K in the first 4 weeks because that's truth. But I can't say, yes, this will happen for you. How could I know that? I don't know if you're going to do the work. I can just say, hey, here's some clients. These are the results we got. Then I always say, I cannot promise any kind of result because it's to do with whether you do the work or not.
Right.
If they're promising income, run a mile.
Right. Let's say they pass all the flag tests. How do I know this person is going to be a good fit with me? How do I need to evaluate that? Is it important that I like them? Is it important that we click? Or are there other things that are more important than that? What do I do?
That's a very interesting question because for me, if somebody's going to help me, I kind of want to sort of like them, you know, but the way I see it is this, it's business. And if they listen to what I want, if I think they truly have my best interests at heart, even though I might not love the delivery, I will still hire them. I've done that because I don't care about being their friend. I have friends. I don't have to pay to have friends. You know, just so they're not mean to me. If they're mean, I'm not going to hire them. But if they have a certain way of doing things, and I'm thinking, wow, that's an interesting style. It works. They're going to have my best interests at heart. They're professional. They know what they're doing. Sure, I'll pay them a ton of money if you're going to help me. Because often really good people are a bit quirky.
Oh, yes.
They could have ADD. They could have, you know, Asperger's. I mean, some of those are brilliant people. Yeah. I'll coach with somebody like that for sure.
Yeah.
For sure. Any day of the week. Actually, if a 4-year-old genius knew more than I would pay that genius. I don't
Yes.
care. I've paid really young people. I paid a 19-year-old to coach me. He knew more
Excellent.
than I did about certain things. Wasn't a great coach and it was awful working with him, but you win some, you lose some. But the point is, it's really, do I believe this person will help me get to my goals? That's all you need to ask.
Mm-hmm.
Do I believe? If it's a yes, hire that person immediately before you go off and you go get scared and go into your corner like a scared animal. And then it takes you a year because all of that is not how champions work. And you want to be a champion, no matter whether you're an introvert or an extrovert. I don't care. It's not about being a certain personality type, by the way. There are successful people of all personality types, Myers-Briggs, all different everything.
Right.
There's no, oh, you have to be this. No, it is basically, do I believe this person has my best interests at heart and will they do a good job and will they help me? If the answer is yes, plonk that money down immediately because it's very hard to find somebody like that.
Yes. Great insights. Thank you. I am imagining that you did not, I mean, you've shared it. You've had major challenges you've had to overcome in life to get where you're at today. A lot of lessons learned in your own journey. Time in the interview where I welcome everybody into the confessional and I ask if you are willing to share a story of your own experience where you look back and go, wow, I never want to do that way again. And boy, did I learn a lot from it.
Oh my gosh, I can tell you the worst story ever. Okay, so traumatizing actually. Okay, this is interesting because I decided, okay, I want to get online and there's this 10K program and I'd already been speaking to the people and I thought, why don't I just buy an investment house? I had a little bit of money that I held back and I put most of it on credit. And I thought, I'm just going to buy a house and I'm going to rehab it and sell it. And I'll probably make at least 10K because I wasn't willing to bet on myself. Big lesson here. It was the biggest disaster ever. I bought it at a sheriff's sale. It was a druggie house. It was the most revolting mess. I can't even explain how bad that house was. Full of junk, sloping floors, mold, terrible. I can't explain how bad the house was.
Yeah.
I bought it without going inside it. Everybody was like, why did you do that? I bought it at sheriff's sale and nobody else was bidding. And I thought, oh, okay. So I bought it. It was $51,000. That's like an enormous amount of money for me. And I didn't have that much. I think I had 25, even though I was in deep, deep, deep debt, I held back some cash from all the creditors, but I had to put half of that on credit. I bought it with a credit card. I go in. I can't explain how bad this house was. It's beyond your wildest dreams of bad. I go in. I thought, oh my goodness, I can't believe I bought this. And it was so stressful for me that I was already in deep debt and I bought this house and I literally hated myself for it. My brother was like, why did you do that? I said, I don't know. I just thought. And then I started showing a lot of people the house and they were like, oh my gosh, I wouldn't even pay a third for this house. This is so bad.
Yeah.
And I was thinking, oh no, it was so stressful. It was before COVID. I had to go in and clean out the moldy house. It was so moldy. I had to wear a mask. There were like diapers and they had been doing like all sorts of drugs. The place was chock-a-block full of junk. Like I had to go in and pull out rooms of junk.
A literal biohazard. It was a literal biohazard.
Oh, it was biohazard. And some of the rooms were just full of junk. I was literally, I was pulling out hundreds of bags and I lined them up outside. It was so bad. I was like feeling sick. It was a complete nightmare. And I was kicking myself. And I can't believe I did this, trying to make it better. And I was thinking about my kids and I was so upset. Oh my gosh, it was so stressful. And then I thought, okay, I was going to get online. And I stupidly did not bet on myself. And that was the problem. What do I know about rehabbing houses? Like literally nothing. Okay. So I had all these people and they were visiting and they were gagging like, oh, that house. And they were all choking from the mold. And finally I thought, this is what I'm going to do. I'm going to put a lockbox on that house and every single person that wants to go in can go look at it. And I'm going to pray like mad that I sell that house just for what I bought it for. I'm going to pray for that buyer.
Just want to break even.
Just break even. And I thought, I'm selling it for what I bought it. And that's my decision because I cannot lose money, especially because it's credit. I can more debt. So
Right.
and I thought, I'm just going to calm myself down and I'm going to do that. And I'm going to plonk another 10K down for this program. I didn't tell you that first part. I left some of that backstory out because it was long. That's how I got into that program with that. And I put it to the side. I'm not thinking about it. Came in. I just don't think about it. I was so stressed out. And I made this other program start working within 8 weeks. And I thought, okay, now I'm a little not so stressed. And I just kept praying that I just sell it. And I found a buyer. they needed a house to oversee their dream house being built. And they said, this is not worth that. And the woman says to her husband, but that is her price, so we will pay it. And he's like, this is not worth it. So I sold it for 51. And out of goodwill, I rewrote the contract and handed them $3,000 to thank them for taking that house off my hands. I literally did that. And they could not believe that they had already signed the deal, and already paid. And I said, I'm going to give you $3,000 back because I'm so grateful you took that disaster off my hands. So that, I would never do that again.
Yeah.
It was so stressful, I cannot tell you. I aged 20 years because of that. I was already not doing well. So folks, this is why I tell people, this is the reason. Please just bet on yourselves and stop trying to make money and just bet on yourself and hire and invest instead of trying to do some other stuff to get money. Just plunk it down. See what a disaster I created because I didn't bet on myself?
Oh, absolutely. And I think all of us have a version of that story somewhere in our past.
It's a doozy, tell you what.
Mm-hmm. It is unfortunately, typically, as you experienced, a very painful and expensive lesson. Jeanne, this has been such a fascinating conversation. So many great insights. If people, I'm sure they're going to want to find you. They're going to want to learn more about you. Maybe they're in that space where they're like, I'm ready to make a bet on myself.
Mm-hmm.
What is the best place? We will drop all the links in the show notes, but what's the best place to connect with you?
The best place is to go to that link you're going to give them with all the hundreds of reviews, and you can actually just book a call from there. Also, Google me. You'll hear me on a bunch of podcasts talking about ethics and the way of the future of business. And also my Instagram has a bunch of cool reels on it. And then I'm on LinkedIn and Facebook, but I'd say, Instagram and that page would be the best.
Excellent. Well, thank you so much for taking the time out of your day to connect with us, to share your story, to inspire that desire to really go for it and take the chance and retool our thinking. I think time is our most precious and non-renewable resource, and we're spending it one way or the other. Let's make it count. So thank you so much.
And you're so welcome. It's a pleasure to share my disaster story with you.
Well, everyone who comes on has one, and I probably have the most. So thank you so much for being willing to do that. It was a really great conversation today. I definitely am going to be checking out those reels. So listeners, I encourage you, go check it out. Tap into some daily wisdom. Jeanne definitely has a lot to share. So thank you so much. It was such a pleasure. And you know the drill, listeners. Until next time, go manage like a leader.
Thanks for listening to Confessions of a Terrible Leader. If you're feeling brave and have your own terrible leader story that you'd like to share, head over to transcendleadershipcollective.com/podcast to fill out a guest application. We'd love to hear from you. Confessions of a Terrible Leader is hosted by Lacey Nelson and produced and edited by Fixation Point Productions. Music is by Leif Olson and Mary Scott from the band The Number of Months. Confessions of a Terrible Leader is a free leadership resource offered by Transcend Leadership Collective. If you are ready to refuse the limits of average leadership and join the leadership revolution, visit transcendleadershipcollective.com to check out our offerings for engaging workshops, strategic planning, and more. Thank you so much for listening. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and leave us a review. And until next time, go manage like a leader.